Hi, I'm Mutaiba, and today I will be talking about how my opening sequence, consequences, use, or challenge codes and conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues. I will start by entering the first part of this question. My product consequences is the opening sequence of a film whose genre is psychological thriller, and my reference director to it is David Fincher. This genre targets the audience fear of guilt, anxiety, madness, psychological issues, and behaviors. Codes and conventions of this genre include dark setting, desaturated visuals, unsettling and disturbing sound, and themes of guilt, moral ambiguity, and psychological issues, all of which is the conventions I plan to use in my film while adding my touch to it. These are the conventions even my reference director uses. I use distressed visual textures, low-key lighting, desaturated color palette, disturbing sound, and fragment editing to create an uneasy feeling. I wanted to make it look like a flashback, a memory, so I added the flickers, the grain, the static on it. Then I wanted the perspective from the protagonist's point of view, so the sound of the people laughing echoes through her pove. And if you have noticed, the sound was continuous. When the people were bullying her, you could hear that others were also present in the background, but nobody dared to stop the bullies from harassing the girl. Overall, what you see from the start is from her pove, which somehow defends her moves because she does see herself as a victim. I tried not revealing her identity as I wanted to keep that mystery, as it is just the opening sequence and not the whole plot. There are two sounds that are blended together. One is a bass sound throughout the opening sequence to make it look like a mystery, and the other is used to build tension. The other music that I used is from the intro credits of the film Seven, which is directed by David Fincher. I knew that I had to incorporate the sound very well, as mostly in psychological thrillers, sound plays a huge role, and indeed, after completing the editing, it shows how important sound is in the matter of sound. I went with the traditional conventions of the genre, which helped me construct and achieve my desired results. Coming to the mise-en-scene, I knew I had to make the whole setting look where the person has been held hostage. I used props and a messy environment, and in terms of the costume, I wanted to portray the characters as high schoolers, so I made them dress like one. They wore hoodies and jackets. The color of my film is very desaturated, and I took that from the film Seven, again my reference media. I was inspired by it. Okay, moreover, if we look into editing, I knew everything had to come together. Overall, I used a fragment and non-linear editing style on my product. There were jump cuts and flicker frames to symbolize loss of control and memory gaps. On the other hand, I truly believe that somehow I have challenged the traditional codes and conventions of this genre. It targets the social issues, as I have highlighted a serious issue in my product, that is bullying. The protagonist is a woman who usually is seen as a damsel in distress, but here she is fighting back. This allows me to challenge gender-based codes in this genre, with her being the protagonist makes my product inclusive. Even if we look narratively, bullied individuals, like the ones who get bullied, are seen as weak, and someone else comes and saves them. While in my product, she is seen full of rage, the person who wants revenge, and not someone who we should sympathize with, because she ends up using violence. Another thing is that the conclusion depends on the audience. It depends that who they want to perceive as the victim and the villain. If we look into the other perspective, he and the other people who were bullying her, what they are facing is the consequences of their own action.